Call the council to order at 6:30 p.m. First is the roll call. We are joined by all five members of the council: Councilmember Parizek, Councilmember Dominguez, Mayor Pro Tem McFerren, Councilmember Schiltz, and Councilmember Martinez. So the first item is item 2 on the agenda, which is approval of the agenda. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we move to item 3A, which is the city council minutes from February 17th, 2026. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We move to item number 4, city engineers report and the city manager's report. Both have very detailed reports in the packet for your review. So are there any questions first on the city engineers report? We went over all the projects that they're working on. So a lot of good detail there. Okay. Any questions about the city manager's report?
Very extensive report.
Yes.
Very good job, Lee. I guess the only explanation or clarification I would like to hear is about the TIF, about it was one of your pinpoints about reestablishing and reinstating TIF supported programs.
Yep. So with the programs such as the city's matching grant for revitalization, the WeLead funding and administrative costs, that is all a part of an urban renewal portion that that we're currently working with Dorsey and Whitney, so we can set that for another 3 to 5 years. That allows us then to continue to levy and certify for those costs. The goal is to hopefully get that done within the next few months, because legislation's hot on the trail to to mess with that TIF. So yeah.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions regarding the city manager's report? I forgot to mention Craig put the wastewater treatment plant report in, and one of the things that it looked like is going to keep them busy is that they need to start the UV treatment the 15th, and so making sure that's all operational. So are there any other questions about his report?
I just wanted to I just wanted to add, we got news today from wastewater treatment that Jerry Cruz has not only passed his 3, but he's passed his grade 4 level testing now. So that's great news. So we can start working on transition plans for Frank's retirement.
And I was just curious if either Craig or Jerry had any kind of new information that kind of stuck out with them from the IR.
Oh yeah, they attended the conference.
Anybody's.
I have not received any.
Oh, that's
Okay.
serious.
For your report leads, will we learn more about the audit? I know you said there would be an Excel sheet and stuff. We'll learn that on Saturday, right?
I'm not gonna have that for you folks on Saturday. Ideally, to get through the budget process, that's gonna be our budget presentation.
Okay.
Ideally to get through budget and then work with the mayor so we can establish if it's gonna be the finance committee or who we're going to assign to walk through that matrix with us of those comments. So
Right.
And it's now posted. I know we paid the fee for posting it. It is now posted.
yeah, it's been filed. Yep.
All right. I'm not aware of any committee reports, any council reports.
We did have Parks and Recs.
Oh, yes, I'm
Yep.
sorry. There was a park and rec meeting, which will be discussed in more detail. Is there anything you wanted to say now?
We had a meeting last Wednesday,
The 19th.
the 19th.
Seems forever
Yeah,
ago.
I guess it was a while ago.
Yeah.
We talked about the pool. Obviously Mac and Adam were in here with us as well, speaking about the damages going. They did propose, you'll see it more on, down in our agenda. But there was a lot of things wrong with the pool. Fortunately, moving forward, we discussed about all the pros and the cons, about how they want to move forward. Just the facility itself, just kind of doing what's best for the community.
Sorry for the omission of that. So, okay, other council reports? We'll move to item 5A, vendor voucher claim list number 1 in the amount of.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I apologize. Councilmember Dominguez and I didn't put, I think I put something, it's been busy with the upwards. So they're currently, in conversation to take the pilot program to a permanent program. And we had a second meeting here last week, going over some more details. I would like to say the process had during the pilot with the agreement has got more simple, but unfortunately, when it comes to the US government, we are very fortunate to have the upwards team, though they are working through a lot of those things with them. So I believe we got progress, and we're getting closer to narrowing things down for a more permanent process or permanent agreement, I should say. Sorry, I didn't know if you had anything more to add to that.
No, I did have a question for the mayor. Is the council reports kind of where we're supposed to talk about what we've been doing other than committees, or
Yeah, I think that would fit here rather than
in public comment?
in the public.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a couple things then, in that case. I met with the Wheelie director, Bill Weiss. We had a really productive conversation, and he followed up with city manager and had some really great ideas and good conversation there. I also reached out to Brandon Ocken to see if we could set up a meeting just so I could understand, some emergency things that West Big Food has plans that they have in case certain things were to happen. And he just responded back on Friday, and so I will let the mayor and city manager know too in case you want to join that meeting. I'm looking for hopefully Wednesday next week sometime if he's available, just to sit down and understand what their protocols are if they had to deal with certain things in the community that would very much impact our community and their business. And I think that's it.
Okay. All right, any other reports? We will move to 5A, vendor voucher claim list number 1 in the amount of $627,756.39. Is there a motion to approve? Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. We will move to 5B, library prepaid claim list in the amount of $28,626.58. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we will move on to item number 6, which is the time in the evening for public comments and correspondence. And it's the time when we discuss issues that are not on the agenda. No action can be taken tonight. We ask that folks state their name and address and limit their comments to 2 minutes. Are there any public comments? Are there any public comments? Are there any public comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to city council public comments and correspondence and start with council member Parizek.
Not getting anything this week.
Council member Dominguez.
Just a memo from our emergency management manager, Chris Jasper, about the harmful bills that were
Yes.
trying to be passed.
Mayor Pro Tem McFerren.
Nothing, this week, Mr. Mayor.
Council member Schiltz.
A couple items here. I was contacted by a business customer downtown about a late notice on a utility bill. Clerk Hoffert helped me answer some questions with that. I think the biggest thing out of that is understanding that the post office isn't running maybe like we are used to it running, where you mail a letter out here in town and it gets here in town the next day. So I'd like to remind everybody in the community that every bill received, it is processed at the time it is received by city staff. That's there. I've also been reached out to by several people commenting on just a more visible officer presence around town with our police department. They've communicated that they'd like to see continued presence, keeping track of speeding on 3rd Street, heading out of town towards Atalissa, and speeding on 8th Street still is continued problems as well. So
Thank you. Council member Martinez.
I have not received anything.
City manager.
Mr. Mayor, there had been an email communication that had come through with concerns regarding, I think it was posted through West Liberty Voices, regarding a religious or a church. I just stated that I would share if you hadn't received that, let me know and I'll forward on that correspondence. In addition, we did get some communication from individual businesses with regards to late notices. And again, we explained that same process that you had stated, Councilmember Schiltz, is that sometimes going through our postage, especially even just here in town, we've seen them delayed, up to a week, if not longer. So we just highly recommend utilizing our drop boxes or online payments if you don't want to put your trust in the postal timeliness of that processing. Outside of that, that's all I have currently.
City clerk.
I don't have anything outside of what has been communicated.
Okay. I did receive correspondence from Robert Smith, a person living in town, about the streetlights and the weeds in the area where he lived, and so that's been relayed on to the city manager as well. All right, new business. Item number 7A is one that I take with a great deal of sadness. We have a very nice letter, but an action that makes us sad, and that's that we need to accept and file Chief Hauser's resignation as our chief of police. So, I don't know, other than noting that, what we need to do.
It's just a consensus for me to file it.
I mean, we don't have to accept it, but I don't think it's gonna change his.
We do very much thank you for the professionalism, the hard work, and the ingenuity that you brought, and the staffing that you brought to our police department. So thank you very much.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank the community, the council, the city manager, the clerk for everybody putting trust and giving me tools for the police department where it's at. I'd like to thank my officers that are here and the ones that aren't and stuff for sticking by me and change is never easy and stuff, but I'm very happy with the police department's at. I think it's gonna be in good hands. It's definitely hard to say goodbye for the second time now.
You get one more chance to come back.
Okay, with that, we'll move on to item 7B, resolution 2026-0303-316. A resolution to provide for a notice of public on proposed plans, specifications, form of contract, and estimate of cost for the wastewater treatment plant baseline improvements phase 1 project, and then taking bids thereafter. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
I didn't know, Leo, if you wanted to say
I
anything
do,
towards this.
yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
So this project, cost estimate is about $3.8 million for the baseline improvements. These are improvements that are basically gonna help, operations of the wastewater treatment plant. West Liberty Foods, of course, all of their flow goes there, and it's probably about 50%, of their flow. But, in general, this is for overall health of the wastewater treatment plant. It's not expansion of the wastewater. There's some bottlenecks that we're gonna take care of. We're gonna make some improvements in the aeration. You have some pumps that are really outdated and then you can't even get parts for them. So that type of thing's changing. So this bids April 9th. And then, the project, assuming we get a good bid, would be constructed by the end of November of 2027. It is a SRF project. You are approved. You did get $600,000 in refundable money, but that means that you're Buy American and Davis Bacon. So there's a lot of things that go on with that part of the project. Just so you know, the way these get handled in our firm is we usually have like a construction engineer that a lot of times would have been me for you guys. And then we have a design engineer that is involved to do a lot of it. And that's Mark Sipe. He works with Craig a lot during this design. This is Jason McKenzie. He will be the construction engineer. I'm taking a new role. I'm transitioning towards retirement, but I think for the next year or so I'll be around. But I'm going to be doing a new role with B&K that doesn't so much have me doing hands-on work with too many of the projects. So with this one, for instance, Lee and I probably need to have a meeting with West Liberty Foods on some of this. I'm more than happy to keep involved with all that. But for the day-to-day, Jason will be involved. Just wanted to introduce Jason. I know some of you guys know him from the past. He's done other projects with the city in the past, but just letting you know that's kind of the steps we're moving forward. That's all we wanted to do tonight. Unless anybody has any questions.
Did you say it was to be completed by November 27th? Okay.
The reason for that is there's pumps and things that it can be like 12 months sometimes to get them once they order.
All right, are there other questions or comments?
Nope, we'll just coordinate and get that meeting set with West Liberty Foods so we can go over that. And Jason, good to see you again. Look forward to working with you.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, the clerk will call the roll.
Dominguez,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Schiltz,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we move on to 7C, Resolution 2026-0303-317. The resolution to approve and accept the bid from Triple B Construction for the 6th Street reconstruction project from Columbus Street to Corn Street in the city of West Liberty, Iowa 52776. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
Mr. Mayor and Council, I would just like to provide that this is the first time in a long time that we had 7 active bidders on a street project. So that's a really saying a lot of good things that we have many of these contractors interested in doing work within the city, and they were all pretty close in their bids, and so yeah.
Is there further discussion?
Just to be clear, the infrastructure will be underground. Is that right?
Infrastructure, yes,
Yeah.
the water and the sewer.
The electric, I'm sorry.
The electric's gonna be separate,
Separate, okay.
and that bidding will be a separate process. From the
Okay.
rest of the utility, and that's to come, I think we have that down the line here on the agenda.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
McFerren,
Yes.
Schiltz,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Dominguez.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
We move on to 7D, Resolution 2026-0303-318, a resolution to support the recommendation of the city council. That should be the Park and Rec. Yeah, a resolution to support the recommendations of the Park and Rec Committee on the 2026 pool season Kimberly Park pool in the city of West Liberty. Is there a motion to approve?
Go ahead.
Motion approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
So on this, you guys will have to choose which option you want to go with because the resolution is solidifying council. This will be council's action. The resolution is council's action, so that is correct. But you will choose from this one what option you want, and that will go into the place where it says now therefore be it resolved.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah.
Motion to go with option one. Approve temporary closure of the Kimberly Park pool for 2026 season.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
Now, if you want to say something. You're answering questions. I didn't even know.
I think a couple things that stood out to me was just seeing our average annual operating expenses quite higher than any revenue we take in, which is great service to be able to provide for our community. And another thing that stuck out to me was the fact that we need to be able to see what's fully going on when the pool is empty. And I think the best time that was stated to see that is during our summer season. So I do also want to reaffirm our commitment of the importance of what having a pool in this community is to this council. From my time being on council and for myself, community, we're all take it very seriously. City staff, council, we all want a pool and are gonna have this be a high priority forward. So,
As Councilmember Schiltz has communicated, and we did share, Omar and I did share, and along with Matt, with our Parks and Rec, that council made that a priority in your goal session. And I think the best practice that staff and council, but mostly for staff, is communication and making sure that we're keeping the public aware every step of the way during the temporary closure of what we're doing. And so therefore I'll work with our communications staff to make sure that we're providing timely updates on the process and what we're doing with meetings with the engineers and once we get into some more design discussions. So I think that will be the key. It's certainly not gonna lessen the blow of not having the quality of life programming, but keeping people, you know, in the loop and providing them that we are progressing and making it a priority, I think would be important.
And also, I wanted to stress that I agree with Councilmember Schultz, but I wanted to stress that it's very concerning to me in regards to the ground penetrating radar when they were looking for voids. I mean, that just says sinkhole to me. And so it just is very concerning that something should happen on the decks or in the pool and there would be a collapse.
Is there further? Oh, sorry.
I would also provide encouragement to our Parks and Rec board to, and Parks and Rec department in general, just to possibly brainstorm some alternative things to hold at Kimberly Park over the summer. Something to promote people to get out to the park and be involved and
such as like having the water department hook up your water,
That would
a
be
fancy Ragbri water thing, and yeah,
There you go.
sprinkler, bush flashing, right? Sorry. Yeah, I'll have to check.
Park
to see.
sprinkler.
Yeah.
Because isn't the chamber, you guys do the moving parks, or is that parks?
Parks and Rec have done, and then also the week part of the.
Yeah. But if that's the city. Maybe we can do some more.
In the past.
Yes.
This is the color once got canceled. Cities.
I have a question. When does like the season start getting the pool ready and stuff? Is it like the week before it's supposed to open, or is it like as soon as the ground thaws?
No, about a month.
A month ago?
Yeah, I
Okay.
would have already started trying to get 40s and get them to take their courses slowly. Legally allowed to be a lifeguard, would have already started all. I mean, I already got a call from our chemical guy today asking if I had already in.
Yeah, I just want to let people know when I vote, it's with my children in mind, and that's it. And I don't want to go home to,
The decision wasn't taken lightly, so.
Yes.
There's a lot of-
but I do respect your recommendation and understand.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Martinez,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Dominguez,
No.
McFerren,
Yes.
Schiltz.
yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
Okay, next up is item number 7E, resolution 2026-0303-319, a resolution establishing conditions precedent to transfer the ambulance title to the city of West Liberty and authorizing extension upon satisfaction of those conditions. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second? A second. It's been moved and seconded. Is there discussion? I've been involved with this, and so I can talk with the council that the notification was made. First of all, there is the memorandum of understanding that the fire department would be transferred July 1st of 2025. Yes, and that the emergency medical service portion would be transferred sometime over the next year. Within the memorandum of understanding, if the agency, the newly formed agency, requested additional time, then additional time would be granted. There are three provisions in that motion or that memorandum of understanding that need to be met. One, it has to be approved by the EMS board, number one. Number two, employees have to be granted similar benefits and salary to what they're currently receiving, and the agency has to be approved to provide Medicare and Medicaid services. So now what has happened is that the agency granting the Medicare, Medicaid certification is saying that they have to have at least one ambulance or one emergency vehicle under their title in order for that to occur. So this is a new wrinkle prior to the transfer over. So I put together some of the things and recommended to the city manager and to the city clerk some ideas of what should be in the transfer, and therefore then we have the document that was worked on and before you tonight. With that, is there additional questions or discussion?
This is basically allowing the transfer so that they can get approved
Yes,
for the Medicaid.
right. Without a vehicle, they can. What we're told is that they cannot be approved.
The clerk did have conversations with the billing, our third party billing, just to identify from the billing process if that ambulance is titled under the agency, what the impact would be for the EMS service and how that billing, and I can make the clerk
I
speak
actually
to
had a
that.
conversation with them today. They were
Yeah.
able to call me today and they did reaffirm that they would need to have an ambulance. Their recommendation, they said that they would need to have it at least by May 1st. It didn't have to happen immediately. But that they would need to have it for that because you have to have it for a minimum of 30 days before that can take into effect. They said that they would work with the city during the transition because everything up until 6:30 will still be underneath the city. And then after that, there's a 120-day period where you kind of have that lapse over it. But all of the new billing would begin with the EMS agency, the EMS and fire agency on 7/1. So they will be working with both parties during that transition. Michelle and Jenny both said that they would have more conversations with the city as we got closer, but they did reaffirm that that transfer of that ambulance would need to happen. The recommendation would be the lesser used of the ambulances, just to be sure that the one that the city is currently using majority of the time is still underneath the city, but that as long as insurance is covered on their end, our employees would be covered on our end, and that's a conversation that we did have with insurance person as well.
Which is why of the requirement of indemnification of the agency.
Are there further questions or comments from the council members? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
McFerren,
Yes.
Dominguez,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Schiltz,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Okay, we are now up to item 7F, resolution 2026-0303-3, a resolution authorizing a professional service agreement with BHMG engineers for engineering, design, and bid process services for the East 6th Street upgrade project, including electrical service relocation and underground conversion. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
Just to familiarize, mayor and council, in the past, BHMG, has a blanket agreement with us when it comes to engineering a lot of our projects. But specifically to a capital improvement project, we requested them to add the service agreement, same as we do with ISG and what we've done in the past with V&K, where it identifies specifically what their scope of work, what their services are for that project, outside of looking at an overall blanket agreement. So that is why you have that in front of you this evening.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Schiltz,
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
Dominguez.
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Next up is item 7G, resolution 2026-0303-321, a resolution accepting the preliminary design and scope of work for the East 6th Street electrical service relocation and underground conversion project and setting a public hearing. Is there a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussions?
So again, this is the electric portion of the East 6th Street improvement project. And we will be working with BHMG for a timeline and identifying the public hearing process because their bidding has to be done, really be done separately from what the street and the infrastructure portion is.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
Schiltz,
Yes.
Martinez,
Yes.
Parizek,
Yes.
Dominguez.
Yes.
McFerren,
Yes.
motion passes 5-0.
Okay, preview on the St. Patrick's Day council meeting. I think we have a work session.
I do not have a work session planned because I'm working you this Saturday.
On Saturday, the 7th at 9 a.m.
9:30.
9:30 in the training room?
Yes.
Okay, so that will be instead of a work session that day, and so budget stuff,
Budget
I think will dominate, yeah.
We'll serve a light brunch. As well.
Yeah.
Those, if you're not able to attend, we will record. But please keep in mind that I can meet with you to go over the details of that after the meeting or whatever you need.
Anything else that you can think of on the 17th?
Yes, I have a laundry list of things. We have banners to talk about. I received a quote on the celebration
Yeah.
banners.
Yeah.
And we've got some designs to be looking at. In addition to that, we've got our budget amendment. We held off on the budget amendment. We'll be setting the public hearing. We were waiting for some numbers to come in on the library roof, and we have those. And so we gotta show us we gotta find some money there. In addition to that, and then there'll be more, probably setting the public hearing for the bidding process on the electric. Clerk, is there anything that you?
The public hearing for the wastewater treatment.
Yes.
Okay, any other, that's it for the, so now I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Is there a second? Second. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and we are adjourned.